Hello everyone, this is Jason from Primetime Aquatics, and in this video I want to give you seven reasons why you should be gravel vacuuming your fish tank, but we're also going to talk about a couple reasons why you may not want to do that. Hope you enjoyed the video. Number one, the number one reason why you may want to consider gravel vacuuming your aquarium is of course an obvious one, and that is to remove all the uneaten food, fish waste, other forms of detritus that accumulate in your substrate. That can just look bad, and we don't want that stuff to accumulate on the bottom, and so gravel vacuuming is going to remove that from the bottom of your fish tank. It's going to make your tank look a little bit nicer. The second reason why you may want to consider gravel vacuuming your fish tank, the way the water looks. If you leave the detritus and the fish food and the fish waste in the substrate, eventually that may wind up in the actual water column. So if you've got fish that associate with the bottom of the tank, maybe that's bristlenose plecos or cory cats or goldfish, or you've got cichlids that like to dig a little bit. Well, guess what? When they're doing that, they're taking the stuff that's in the substrate and pushing it up into the water, and it may make your water look a little bit cloudy. You may see things floating around in your tank, and those are things we just don't want to look at. So by gravel vacuuming your fish tank, you can actually make the water look a little bit better. Reason number three, if you are removing all that detritus from the substrate and it's not getting into the water column, guess what? Filter maintenance is probably going to be a little bit easier. So by gravel vacuuming your fish tank, you will also allow your filter media to last a little bit longer. It's not catching so much detritus. It's not catching so much particulate matter. You won't have to change it out as much, and it's going to be a little bit cheaper for you. Reason number four, and now we're starting to get into the meat as to why it's so important to gravel vac. By gravel vacuuming, you can actually reduce nitrate concentrations in your fish tank. What does that mean? When you've got detritus and fish waste and stuff in the gravel, you've got microorganisms that are breaking that stuff down. And when they do, they may produce ammonia, and of course that ammonia is converted to nitrite, nitrite converted to nitrate. We did an entire video where we discussed in detail why it's bad to let nitrate accumulate in the fish tank. I'll put that in the upper right hand corner, as well as in the description below. But that's why we do water changes. We want to eliminate that nitrate concentration in the water. By gravel vacuuming, you allow that to happen much more efficiently. You're removing a lot of the food products that would contribute to that waste cycle, that nitrogen cycle. Reason number five, reducing algae. Yes, by gravel vacuuming, you'd never think the two are linked, but by gravel vacuuming, you can actually reduce the amount of algae in your fish tank, and here's why. If you don't have the stuff in your substrate, the garbage, the detritus, and you're not producing a lot of excess nitrate from that, the algae tend to starve. Those photosynthetic organisms need nitrogen-based compounds and sulfur and phosphorus. And if you're removing a lot of that in your tank maintenance and it's not getting into the water column, the algae have nothing to eat. They don't grow nearly as much. So by gravel vacuuming, you can actually get control of a potential algae issue. Reason number six, you now have a cleaner tank, cleaner substrate, cleaner water. And that is going to lead to an overall healthier environment, which leads right into reason number seven. And reason number seven, it's going to lead to your fish being healthier. If you've got a cleaner tank with less waste, with less nitrate, with less microbes breaking down all that waste product, your fish are going to remain healthier. We did a video on how water parameters can actually impact fish health. I'm going to put that in the upper right hand corner. I think it was a very important video because sometimes we're looking for a parasite, sometimes we're looking for a reason other than, wow, you know what, maybe we're just not doing a good job maintaining our aquarium, and that's why our fish are not healthy. So if they're not moving around as quickly, they're not eating as much, you start to see maybe their eyes are starting to cloud over, they're gasping for air, something may be wrong with your water. And one of the reasons why that can happen is you've got too much detritus and fish waste and stuff in the substrate, and that's creating bad water parameters. So you can actually increase the health of your fish by gravel vacuuming your fish tank. Now there are a couple reasons why you wouldn't want to gravel vac your fish tank, and with 70 fish tanks we don't gravel vac every single one. In fact, the number one reason why is if you've got plants in your tank that are rooted, we generally don't gravel vac those tanks. We want the plants to have access to all those nutrients, and they tend to deal with that and help regulate it. Another reason why you might not want to gravel vac is if you've got sand. If you've got a very fine grained sand, you really can't gravel vac. You're going to suck it up into your gravel vac. It's going to go into your plumbing. You're going to cause all kinds of problems. We just did a video on certain sands that we like. I'll put it in the upper right-hand corner. But one of the main reasons why I like the sands that we use is the grain size is a little bit thicker. It allows us to actually put a gravel vac into the sand and get some of that detritus out. Now, when you have sand, not as much of that fish waste and food is going to sink into the substrate. So that problem is going to be reduced to a certain extent. We've talked about how to maintain sand. I'll put that in the description as well. But it's a little bit different. You might not want to shovel gravel vac in there unless the sand is going to stay in the tank and not get sucked up into the plumbing. All right, everyone, I hope you found this video useful. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did find it useful, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.